Well, the news broke. The XFL lost $60 million last season. And his first season back from his third iteration, it lost $60 million. Damn. In this video, we're going to go over where everything is financially and something I've noticed over the last few weeks that somebody put in perspective with this tweet that's on the screen. Black Adam flopped. XFL lost $60 million. And you remember this video of The Rock making this big old push that him and Vin Diesel, were able to put differences aside, even though he swore he would never go back to the Fast franchise. And I was thinking, damn, that's odd. I remember seeing that in the moment because he was so adamant, and he's always been like stern with his thought process. Then all of a sudden, Young Rock gets canceled, his show on USA. So yeah, I don't think he's hit his rock bottom as the tweet says, but shit, that'll make you go back to Vin Diesel to the Fast Furious franchise and talk about Toretto and them. But all right, let's just start from the beginning. All right, so The Rock, his ex-wife and partner Danny Garcia, and a venture capital firm called Redbird Partners took $15 million to buy the XFL out of bankruptcy when it went bankrupt after his first season in 2020. Well, second season technically, but we'll get to that. They also had $8.5 million in prior debt, which made $23.5 million in total in the hole coming out of the gate. And a Forbes article has said they've lost 60 million. And as a result of that, they cut jobs, which were primarily, from what I could tell, are marketing jobs. They made a lot of comments to Forbes, The Rock specifically, that this is a long game. They're gonna look at this as, yeah, it's a short term loss, but we're gonna be able to push this forward in the live event space. But guess what? Venture capitalists, venture capital firms like Redbird like to see early results or they get antsy. And when they get antsy, they force the companies they invest in to being profitable. And one of the tried and true methods is job cuts. $60 million in the red and they just flat out cut the marketing department, the chief marketing officer. That reeks to me of venture capital input saying the XFL CMO was not good enough and please start over because we will not be losing $60 million. This product, we put too much money in, it needs to be profitable. Now, don't get me wrong, there's good news. ESPN contractually will give the XFL $20 million for its TV rights, and the prior debt that I mentioned earlier just now has been paid. Now, according to Forbes, the company projects revenue to be at $100 million in 2024. That right there is a blessing, okay? Because there has never been a consecutive year of the XFL. In the early 2000s, XFL had one season. 20 years later, in the 2022, revamping, the XFL only had one season before hitting bankruptcy. So The Rock and them have accomplished something never seen before. But the money is tight. The man had to put aside his blood feud with Vin Diesel and return to the Fast and Furious franchise for his 20th movie. That's crazy. The Young Rock cancellation. Now, the show sucked to me. They tried to be too much like Everybody Hates Chris. That got canceled. Then Black Adam flopped so bad, Warner Brothers would not greenlight a sequel. They said, enough of that shit. No, early on, no. Even though I won't put that one on the rock, the script for Black Adam was a flat out mashup of other Marvel movies. The movie sucked because they stole storylines and it lacked a lot of original content, in my opinion. But outwardly, it really does look like The Rock is making moves to make sure the money keeps coming in. Now, I checked in with an XFL guy I knew. He said, of course, players are worried, but added, this is those type of leagues that can like fold any moment. So they're just grateful. Like he expressed gratitude that the league was playing another year and they got paid decently, not like other feeder leagues or startup leagues. And an opportunity of a lifetime, he said, to play for Heinz Ward. For me personally, I am rooting for the XFL. It is way better product than the Fox led USFL. The Fox USFL, the cameras look like they're grainy, and at times they look like they're cutting corners. XFL made the games way more exciting, especially with the new rules they tried to implement. The USFL, I noticed they play in empty stadiums a lot, as opposed to the one XFL game I did go to, but the ones I've been seeing online or on TV, like the Arlington XFL game was packed. People were in there; they were having a good time, and the USFL just seems like your players are out of shape. I'm only watched a handful of games. I watched the Showboats game, New Orleans Breakers game, and another one. And the players just they look out of shape. And I'm more talking about the Showboats. They just looked out of shape and on the low end for talent NFL wise. I've not seen a player with NFL capability in the few games I saw. The XFL games, it didn't matter what team I watched. I thought, oh, this person has a chance to play on the next level. Anyway, I think that's a lot to do with the XFL. They paid more to get better talent, and now they need to make up for that $60 million debt. Now, for year two, I would suggest they add more teams, but it seems like the budget is paper thin, so that's out. I'm going to go with the other stuff. They do a good job of cranking out content. The behind the scenes shows like Player 54 is dope. Next, The Rock to me has to announce some games, not every week, but a players lounge like the Mannings do. Bring guests, talk shit, and dip. He doesn't have to do that every week. I would also bring the pivot back to announce a game with the same kind of format I just mentioned. A locker room kind of chat where it's live reaction to a game they're watching. And I think, I feel they know this, but they need to increase endorsement partners. Bring on official betting sponsors, DraftKings, FanDuel, stuff like that. Make um, make it a place where sponsors can come in and get revenue. All right. The other part of it, I think they need to make a football movie. I mean, honestly, they have the facility, they have the players slash actors, they have the rights to the teams and the logos for the XFL. The Rock is very familiar with playing like a football role as he did with Ballers. You have the cameras basically. Why not come in with a script and see what happens? If it's not good, put it direct to consumer. Who gives a shit? Put it on, Disney Plus. Who knows? You might be able to sell it to, other platforms and make some money that way. I just think it's baked in. I think it's easy to do and to shoot. And the other part of it is I think they gotta I would say buy the USFL and figure out a way to get that, but I think that's too much money. They're going to have to figure out a way to get the NFL involved. If that's selling 10% of the company to them, or if that's selling them the idea of a football movie they can get jazzed about, you need something where you can get some outside capital in that can also elevate your brand. I think that would be a very, very, very advantageous proposition. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comments below. All I know is the XFL lost $60 million and The Rock is making some shit shake. Heritage Sports.